What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Guess What podcast, number two. I'm your host, Bailey. We've got Brandon,
Hey.
we got Ashton,
Oh.
we got Lewis,
Hello.
we got Seth.
What's up?
We're missing a few people. Tullis is in Greece and Braden can't make it for some reason. Anyway, on today's episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about feminism. You know, the one thing that we all love in the deepest, darkest pits of our hearts. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you boys got anything to say, or you're going to roll right into it?
Fuck feminazis.
All right.
They're actually fucking that. It's weird. I don't think they like that either.
I think that'll be
True.
Jimmy.
True.
They'd probably sue
Alright.
you for false rape allegations. So I mean, let's just roll back over.
Yeah, they'd probably consent to it and then be like, oh no, I didn't consent to it. Give me fame.
More than likely.
He's not
Alright.
wrong.
Let's get back on topic.
All right. So, first of all, there's a bit of controversy between some people get feminism and sexism confused almost. You know what I mean? Like sometimes
Yeah.
there'll be a photo of a feminist yelling the fuck at someone when it's pretty much just sexism. Or
Yeah,
people are like,
sexism is
no.
not right.
but some people are like, yo, this is fucking sexist. A fucking feminist or someone's fucking being a feminazi or some shit. I
Well, I mean,
Sexism
like,
is
no, no.
not right.
So no. So here's what people get confused, right? So like you have feminists who are trying to get women's rights through, right? So you've got a branch between sexism and feminism, right? So feminism, it's it's women and even men trying to get their point across to get women equal pay, equal jobs, equal opportunities, right? But when it comes to sexism, there are feminists who move into this sexist boundary of saying stuff like, "Oh,
Women are
now
better.
women are better, men are pigs, and we now need to, give men
Women are-
70% of the pay rather than us and give us 100% of the pay."
All right. How about this? If they want equal rights so badly, let's share the rights so they have 100% even. So that way, when a woman hits a man's allowed to hit back, and they'll see how they fucking like it.
I mean,
equal
yeah, like,
rights, equal
so-
responsibilities.
Here's the thing, right? So I have a feeling this entire podcast is going to go between sexism, feminism, women's rights. It's going to go between all this sort of thing, right? But what it also seems to happen is there seems to be a bit of disconnect between women's rights and then how men are treated due to the fact that women's rights are coming through more into the large now. So
Very yes.
men at the moment, so if a woman was to hit us, right, we would not be able to do anything correctly. So if a woman was to hit us, unknowing, without us doing anything, what are men able to do, right? We're not able to do anything because if we did, we'd then be arrested and charged with assault or rape or sexual assault, right? But if we were to hit a woman for no reason, and back to the other thing, right? The woman wouldn't have anything most likely the woman would, nothing would happen because we'd be
Yeah.
the one that orchestrated that secondary assault, which then, made it think they might get arrested and charged, but it's less likely than us being arrested and charged. But then if we were to go up to hit a woman and they hit us back and maybe did more damage than what we did because we could have accidentally hit them and they could have hit us more, and they wouldn't be charged with assault. They'd be what do you call it?
Self-defense.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, it was self-defense.
He came at me. He was trying to rape me.
All of her friends on Facebook would be like, wow, we're so proud of you, you fought back, good job. That sort of thing happens quite often.
20 years prison.
We get charged with assault, we'll be in prison for 13 years, and then that'll be on our track record forever, and we wouldn't be able to get half the jobs that we would be able to get, meaning we don't even get 100% of the pay. We get 0% of the pay. If you think about it like that, that's what is sort of the disconnect at the moment between feminism and That's the disconnect between women's rights and men's right.
Yeah. Also, I feel like nowadays, all the women they want, oh yeah, give us this, give us this. All you men have this and that. But when it comes to them taking the responsibilities of a man, they're like, no, that's a man's job, and stuff like that. When that completely goes back on what they want.
Now here's the thing, right? What the did you guys watch that video I sent to you, right? With the
No.
question. Okay, if you didn't watch it, one of the questions he answered was like, one of the women was like, why don't you give us all of the jobs that you have, and we'll see how we last. And he's like, and the guy was explaining how men take the more dangerous jobs, like working in coal mines and doing all that, and those like have a 70% mortality rate. So 70% of people that work in coal mines will most likely die of a young age in the coal mine or out of the coal mine from diseases, right? And
Yeah.
when I feel like this is the same as what Donald Trump is saying with migrants, right? He's trying to take them out, right, and stop them from coming in. Yet they do all of the shitty jobs, like being a janitor and all that stuff, which privileged white Americans wouldn't want to do.
Yeah, but like, so why are we now talking about fucking? Let's
I
not
don't know.
go
We've
into
gone off. We've
racism.
gone off.
Mexicans.
This entire thing is going to be
mean,
about
That-
rights.
That's for
Okay.
another week. That's for another
I
week.
mean,
Back on topic, Bailey.
I wouldn't mind making sandwiches 24/7 for my husband instead of having to go down into the mines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I wouldn't
Nah,
mind.
I'd rather go down to
Here's
the
the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? I would actually love to be a stay-at-home guy. Like, if my partner was making enough money to like
Hell
sustain
yeah.
to sustain the family alone, I'd be like, okay, I'll stay at home, look after the kids, cook dinner. I'm happy to do that. Like, the disconnect is to be like, oh, men want to work. They want to earn the money. They want their wife to stay at home.
Yeah,
And
it's not the 70s anymore.
This isn't the 50s. This isn't the 60s. We need to we need to be more modern and look at if men want to do that, and then women
Yeah.
going, hold on a minute, I don't want to be the only one working here. So
Let's get the kids to work.
that's a
Good.
different topic, Bailey. That's child slavery.
Hey, did any of
That's
you
child labor.
watch Isaac Butterfield's video on feminism?
Here we go,
No.
back to Ashley Butterfield.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, his more recent
yeah,
one, he,
which
like,
one?
Talks
Wait,
about
you
how
wanted the vegans or the cyclists?
The vegan cyclist? The
I
vegan
don't know if you guys have seen that
cyclist?
Facebook post or not. It's just like vegan climbs Mount Everest
Yes.
to prove that vegans can do whatever the fuck they want. Vegan dies.
I think there was one
Sounds
about
about right.
yeah, I think it was a vegan feminist as well.
Ah,
There was
so
a
it does
feminist
relate.
as well. So,
Alright, like,
what's-
back
what's
to
the
the-
next topic we want to talk about.
We need to look at like women's rights in general and what's changed. I'd say would be the next.
Yeah, I feel like
I
I feel
mean,
like they have gotten more rights, but
Women can vote, so
Jesus. Okay. Then.
Bailey, it's been like that since like 1850. Okay, it's been like that since like the 1900s.
yeah,
like
but what
early
if you're born in the
1900s.
1800s.
I don't think anyone alive right now is born in the 1800s. Okay, women have had the right to vote
Oh shit, yeah,
since
Stephen Hawking died.
since prior to World War One. They were able to vote before World War One.
True.
Okay,
Very nice.
and since then, women have been gaining more and more rights. So before that, they had basically zero rights. They couldn't work in Parliament. They couldn't do any of that. At the moment, what's happening is since the 1950s, before the 1960s, women still weren't able to be part of Parliament, yada yada. Like they weren't able to do and work. They were looked down upon if they were to be in the workplace during the 1950s.
Yes, that is true.
Then we go further and further through. There were still work at home mums, and there are still work at home mums and wives now, right? But
But
It's
it's
definitely
kind
a
of less
whole lot
common
more.
now.
it's
men
definitely there is
exist.
definitely so much more women in the workplace and also men staying at home.
Yes. But then there's also you can kind of like the rights that women don't have and do have in jobs. Like someone will be excluded from jobs just because they're women, or like they'll be getting into a job because they are women. That's a bit that's a big no-no.
That's the thing that scares some people when it comes to women's rights, or any right really, when it comes to, like, you know, keeping people who are different to themselves, because what disconnects them between what will actually happen, and that is fear. So, you know, they get scared because, you know, someone might get their job because they're a minority, and then the media is like, oh, so you didn't give this job to the minority because there's already someone doing that job. But they're a minority, so why don't you give this minority a job rather than giving this, you know, this like working class middle-aged man who, or woman, that needs the job as well. Like, they're both working the same job. It should come down to skill rather than gender or race. That's what should happen in a perfect world. But we're not necessarily in a perfect world per se. We're more
Such thing as a
We are
perfect world.
far from a perfect world.
we're
don't
far
think
from
we-
a perfect
I don't think
society, but
a perfect world ever exists or ever will exist.
To every utopia, there's a dystopia.
that is true.
Damn, Ashton's spitting some fucking facts right now.
God.
But, like, that's what should happen, rather than feminists going, look, women need jobs, so why don't we put them in these jobs and take men out? Like, that is what I've seen so many
It
women
should be,
say.
we want these jobs. Give us these jobs.
It should be
Make more space. Make it more like fair.
yeah, like, sometimes it's like women or feminists need to focus on if there's actually space in that job, rather than, oh, it's a man doing it. Is there a woman who's better qualified? Like, they need to focus on, is there somebody better qualified, man or woman, that could be working this job? It should be focusing more on qualifications.
Yes, I agree. It's got really awkwardly quiet. This is going to be such a weird episode.
Seth,
I know.
what's your opinion on this? You're like
Yeah,
very
Seth hasn't
quiet.
talked yet. Yes, we should probably get his opinion.
Seeing like I don't really know a lot about like this topic. Like, yeah, I know like ideas of what like you've all said, and
Do you have anything to elaborate on them? Do you have like anything about those ideas that we haven't said yet?
not 100% no.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure yet, but
All right. Well, you know, keep thinking. Speak whatever's on your mind.
yeah.
I'm just gonna say now that this is basically a debate. So if there's anything you don't agree with, you know, speak up, give your point across, and then,
Racism. Don't agree with it, man.
I mean, the CEO of racism, I'm gonna be on call
You
with him
are
later
a
tonight. So
fucking
Yeah.
hypocrite, Brandon.
That's the kind of the point, Bailey. That r/whoosh right there. r/fucking whoosh.
Jake News.
Salt. Alright, let's not fucking start an argument
Okay.
right on.
Alright,
right
so-
when we're
Alright.
recording.
Alright.
Alright.
What the fuck is a feminist?
Yes, yeah. Lewis, explain.
I'll-
Into
do you
more
want-
detail about a
am
feminist.
I the one that has all the facts today? Is this
Yes,
is what
you have
happening?
all the
Okay.
facts. I feel like you've researched this week.
I haven't researched. This is all just what I've culminated
I
through the
mean-
years of me being alive and focusing on. Oh, look.
I mean, Brandon, you're dating one.
What do you mean? What?
All right. So basically, a feminist is a person. A feminist is a man or a woman who is fighting for the right for women to get something. So, like, you know, basically, I'd say, in my opinion, the first feminists to come around would be the women in London fighting for the right to vote.
The suffragettes, them.
The suffragettes, that's the one. So the suffragettes, I'd say those were the first. They were the first, like, prominent feminist force, and they
Yes.
came around the turn. I'd say it was the turn of the century.
My gosh.
Oh my god, Bailey, this is a serious thing. You can't just burp into the mic. Okay, So so feminists are
they,
people.
They had the right idea.
Yeah, so they had the right idea.
feminists.
So they were, they were protesting like peacefully outside of Parliament, saying, "Look, women are humans too. That we would like the
Yes.
right to
Yeah,
vote."
they are.
We're no less than men. We can vote and shut the fuck up, Bailey.
Bailey, if you have something to, oh shit, if you have,
This is just so scuffed.
if you have something to say like about women not being equal, you might as well just point it out now. Or was that just you making a joke that was unneeded?
Wow, you really gotta be a teacher.
I do.
Just they got called out.
You really gotta be like a teacher.
What you gonna do about it, Bailey? What you gonna do?
Ooh, what you gonna do?
Nothing. That's what I
Jeez.
thought.
What you gonna do?
Tune in
Dude,
next time
you
for the
remind
fight.
me of Jacko. If Jacko's listening to this right now, yeah, fucking fight me.
What you gonna do, Bailey? What you gonna do? Nothing. That's
What you
right.
gonna
That's what I
do, bro?
thought.
What you
Okay.
gonna do about
Okay.
it?
Shh. Back to the feminist topic that we're all talking about instead of Bailey literally making an unneeded joke. Okay.
Shut the fuck
So-
up, cunt.
We know someone who definitely feels women are less than men. Jake. Alex and Drac.
Yo, no names, no
Whoa,
names, no
whoa,
names. He
no.
could be watching this right now.
No names.
He watched our last one. He'll probably watch this one too.
Yeah, he probably watched this one. Okay.
He's probably jealous he's not in this again.
All right. So basically,
Oh, shut the
so
fuck up.
to basically get the full rounded like thing of feminist, a person who is fighting for women's rights. Okay. Peacefully should be the main
Yes.
word in that. So they are peacefully
if you
fighting.
Wanna actually get feminists like women's rights, don't do it aggressively because that's just gonna give off the completely wrong message and you're just gonna fuck it all over.
If
So
you want
don't-
women's rights, get a woman to be the fucking first woman that's fuck. I said woman too many times already. Fuck.
I think you're going to the bit of a sexist route here, Bailey.
Get a female. It's alright if they're transgender. No one's against that. I don't think here, but
No.
let's get a female to be a American president for once.
Well, I mean, we almost had that,
Not
but
Hillary,
then
not Hillary.
No,
no. Here's the thing,
no,
right? Here's the thing, right? We actually right now, I think the polls are showing that we do have women that are being voted quite highly. There's in like the top. I think it's the top 3.
The same thing happened
We
with
have,
Hillary,
like-
but you know what? She fell off.
No, the reason that is because Donald Trump, focused more on the Midwest. So they focused more on the rednecks and all that. But we're off topic.
Hillbillies.
We're off topic. We're
Right,
talking. We've gone into the racism area of the
Politics,
spectrum.
whip.
We've gone into politics and racism, and this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about feminism.
Don't. Oh my god.
Okay, so basically,
Oh my god.
now,
Alright, keep going, Lewis. Sorry.
Okay.
That's something.
Now, so if they do want to do it peacefully, like I would recommend maybe just holding a meeting in Parliament, pulling in different women from different backgrounds, and saying, look, this is what needs to happen. This is what is happening now. I mean, statistically, at the moment, men are the highest offenders of like rape and all that. But still, women need to
Oh,
find
yeah.
like
yeah.
statistically and stereotypically, men are the ones who rape and domestically abuse and sexually abuse. But
That's not saying that women don't do it.
that's not saying women don't do it. What a lot of feminists or not necessarily feminists, but what a lot of women overlook is that
Women can do it too.
women can do it too. You're fighting for equality, yet you're looking at men as being the bad guy or
And
being the bad
sometimes
person.
Even being less.
Yeah, and sometimes even being less of a person. Like, feminism needs to move into the human rights area. Like, some feminists, like, let's say, I'm gonna go off a limb here, but say, Benedict Cumberbatch, right? He has said out loud that he is a feminist, right? But
Yeah.
what he fights for, he fights for women's rights to do things that men also do, rather than fighting for men to not do things that these women want to do. Like, that is what seems to be happening.
Yeah.
And then who's the actor for Hermione? Emma Watson? She's
Yeah,
probably
she
she is
She is a
amazing.
massive feminist.
But she's amazing for what
Oh,
she is
man.
doing.
You know how old she is?
She's like 32.
28?
Oh fuck.
Alright, that's pretty good. Alright.
But like,
Don't fucking talk shit about us for not knowing her age, by the way.
yeah, what's her age, Bailey? Give us that.
Um,
I'm
fucking
sorry, I'm not the.
She's 29. I was a year off. I was a year off. She's 29.
Okay. Well, anyway, what she's done for just rights in general, like human rights in general, like she's youth ambassador at the UN, and so she talks about all of this during meetings with the United Nations. So they talk about women's rights and human rights.
She's doing shit in a young age, and it's fucking working so well.
Like what she
And
has
people-
done for women's rights is amazing.
Yeah.
Like that is what we need to. That's what feminists should be. You can't be like
Really violent. And
You
say,
can't
give
be-
me this, give me
yeah.
that fucking now, or else you guys are pigs. You guys are misogynists. You guys hate women. You have to be fair.
Like this is what I see. This is what seems to be happening as well. Is like women seem to be going, look, or some, not all women, but you know, some women seem to be wanting to just go, hey, we want this, we want it now. If you don't give it to us, then you're the person, you're what's wrong with the world. Like that doesn't
Yes.
see. This seems to be
Can
a
we-
disconnect between what needs to happen and what they want to happen.
Yeah. Can we hear the opinions of Ashton, Bailey, and stuff on this matter?
Because I seem to be taking up this.
Contributed quite a while.
What?
Been contributing for quite a while. It's the other two that have been quite quiet.
There's
Bailey,
Ashton, what about
thoughts on
Bailey?
this?
Thoughts on what? I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Thoughts
He hasn't
on.
been paying attention the entire thing.
Seth, I mean, I've been zoning in and out, but I just say yeah, act like I know what the fuck's going on.
Is this even going to make the cut at this point?
It probably is.
Yeah,
but
I'm not editing
keep
this
it
out.
going.
Fuck that. It takes too
going.
long.
Fuck.
This is just gonna be full.
Oh, boys,
No
boys. All right,
editing
all right.
this.
So, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but a while back, I'd say probably 2018, there was this incident that happened where this guy was attacked in a bar by a woman.
Oh,
And
is this
she
the one in the
stuck-
bathroom?
She stuck the back of her heel into the back of his neck. So pretty much, he was hospitalized pretty seriously, and I'm not sure what it was, but fuck, she wasn't penalized as bad as a man would. Like a man would go like prison like 10, 20 years, but
Yeah,
she
easily.
fucking, I'm pretty sure she went I think she went prison for like 4 years, maybe less,
What the fuck?
which didn't make any sense. Like this man almost fucking died because this girl got a bit tipsy. She's like, "Oh, my bad. I had a few drinks. You know what? You can't do shit about it. Fuck you."
Can that guy
Yeah.
be paraplegic now?
No, it's the top half. It's the top half of his neck. Top half of the neck is like it won't cause any lasting damage.
It could cause brain damage, but that's about it.
Brain damage. What about you, Seth? What's your opinion on this?
I don't know because I don't really follow feminism that much.
How about we go to a topic we follow more? Racism.
Okay, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing.
No,
like,
no, 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 no.
So, like, yeah, with feminism, yeah, like what we were saying before, yeah, if like a guy does something to a girl, right, then it's obviously like massive like penalty towards the guy, right?
That's
Public
the
media
feminist
gets-
sexism.
Oh, forget it.
Uh,
Fuck
go
it.
on,
I'm
go
talking
on,
about
go
the
on.
wrong topic. No, I'm
Sorry.
talking about the wrong topic now. Fuck off.
No, just talk. Just talk.
Just
We
keep
don't even-
going,
we don't
just
even
keep going.
care
We-
about
we-
the topic anymore.
We're just talking about
speak.
rights in general.
Is it even fair to name this podcast feminism? Like seriously?
We're just talking.
We're just
talking
talking.
shit about rights.
Yeah, we're just
Except
talking
don't
about
make it
rights.
sound like we're talking shit. Make it sound like we're just talking about rights.
That's what I'm trying. We're talking about rights, basically, human rights, women's rights, like
Yes.
just in general, like movements around the world, which are changing, like what is happening through different races and different genders.
Anyway, Seth, go on.
Okay. So like yeah, like we get penalized so badly and so like harshly, yeah. Like penalty if a girl did something to a guy.
Yes. That is that's what's the word? Um, inequality. That's what that is.
See, like, say, like, a girl raped a guy or, like, did something. Like, what would the penalty be for that?
Yeah,
I
like
mean, the
I
thing
can't-
about when a female rapes a male, most of the time the person that got raped, like the male, is like, I'm like too scared to come out about it, you know?
Because they're
Yeah.
gonna get looked down upon because no one's gonna
Pretty
believe
much
them.
because society's fucked.
Because
yeah,
no,
it's like, oh, you got raped by a girl. You're fucking weak, dude.
do you remember that story that came out of America, right? And it was like, it was like college league of two footballers, right? Two college like Ivy League footballers, right? This one person came out with false rape allegations about both of them, and both of them got within a matter of 2 weeks got stripped of their stripped of their scholarships and were taken out of the university. Plus, they went to court and almost went to prison. They were almost charged with rape.
Oh yeah, there was another thing like similar to that almost, well, not really similar, but it involves sports. So pretty much there was a sporting game, right? What happened was a female cheerleader ran onto the pitch and smacked all the guys' ass. This was at a footy
Yeah,
game, like an
yeah.
NFL game.
She
Hold on,
doesn't
hold
get
on,
in
hold on,
trouble.
hold on, bro. Let me finish the story, okay? So pretty much she goes out. She's running along. She's smacking everyone's ass. She gets taken away by security. Nothing fucking happens. If a man did that, he'd be charged with sexual assault, thrown in prison for fucking 30 years, and like not even be able to fucking work. Like he'd be fucked.
Well, I mean, 30
Full
years
stop.
is a bit of an overstatement. I feel like they'd be given maybe a 6 month penalty. Like that's usually
It'd definitely be on a criminal record, and
it'll
have a
definitely
very
be on
hard
a
time.
criminal record, but they'd probably have maybe 6 months to 2 years in jail, but then multiple hours of probation and community
Yes.
service. That's what happens when it's something like that. That it's just someone running onto a pitch like a streaker. You're charged with the streaking plus
Public
also
nudity,
yada yada.
decent exposure, and shit
Yeah.
like that.
But
Plus,
like,
once you get put on like fucking the fucking pedophile list, because if there's kids watching,
It means that's sexual predator or some shit.
yeah, like the fucking child registry, some fucking stuff like that.
Oh yeah, because like sometimes say that something like that did happen, you were not able to work in area like where kids are involved, like fucking
Yes.
daycares and shit. Otherwise, you'd be
You'd be
Fuck.
arrested like on site.
yes.
Yes. Then what else do we need to talk about for this?
The difference between feminists and feminazis.
like no. So
Feminists and
basically,
feminazis. I don't think there is a single good feminist.
no.
They
So
all get it
Okay, that is
That is
you just
wrong.
fucked.
You-
just
yeah.
fucked this
Okay, can
podcast.
you let me
You just
finish?
fucked.
Okay, no, let's hear his side of the story. Freedom of speech. He's able to talk.
Maybe there's some feminists that like actually believe in the complete rights, but they don't get any traction around the world. It's only the feminazis that get traction because they're all like, "Oh, give us this," and everyone's like, "Haha, look at this outlandish claim. These guys are fucking dumb."
Well, I feel like it's because they have the loudest voice.
Yes, they get themselves out more.
Yeah, like so. The thing about feminists is that people will see a video that goes viral online. That's a feminazi, not a feminist, because most feminist videos don't make enough traction to actually been seen by have been seen by the media. You know what I
'Cause
mean?
they look over this like, "Oh, it's boring. It's just a normal person. They haven't done anything wrong. This won't get us good."
But then a
publicity."
feminazi will fucking stick their heel in the back of some guy's neck.
Oh, here's something we have to talk about. Since we're on talking about feminism and women's rights, right? Catcalling.
Yes.
Thoughts
is
on
What's that?
catcalling?
Wait, you
That's
mean catfish?
not good.
No, not catfish.
When like you see a hot girl walking past and you whistle.
Or you say, "Ooh, look at that ass," like that sort of thing. Yeah, so doing that, right? That
You're
That-
barely gonna get arrested.
yeah, you
Fuck.
can
No, there's no girls in this Discord call. It's fine. It's fine.
Gay
If-
Nah, you can't get arrested if it's your own girl.
Here's the thing, right? No, here's the thing. Here's the thing at the moment, right? Boys, if a woman was to do that to a man, nothing would happen.
Yeah, the men
Literally
well,
nothing would
I also
happen.
think it's the men not doing anything about it because the men take it as compliments. The
The women-
nowadays like, oh my god, you just sexually harassing. That's not good.
Like, what I saw a video the other day, I think it was FouseyTube, right? Do you guys remember him? He had that breakdown last year, right? He was doing a podcast like this, and he had a feminist on. She the feminist had lost her cat, right? And she was walking down the street, she was sobbing her eyes out, right? And she had a bunch of flyers in her hand. This guy had walked up to her because he looked quite worried. He's like, "Hey, are you okay? What's happened?" And she's like, and then she slapped him and was like, "You dick! What the fuck? I've lost my cat. Go away." And then what she said after that to FouseyTube was like, no, he was catcalling me. It was more like, "Oh, girl, you okay? What's wrong? Like, do you want to come back to my place? We can sort it out." Like, hearing that about someone who was just worried about someone else, because, you know, humans worry about each other. Here's the thing, if you see someone crying walking down the street in distress, would you go and help?
Ashton, can you get your microphone out of your anus?
It's not in my fucking anus, you can't.
It's really close to your mouth.
But Lewis, what
No,
are your
it's
thoughts?
not.
That reminds me of Cassidy Boone.
Kinda is.
If you
Oh
remember
yeah,
her.
dude.
Oh,
Fucking he
this
raped me.
This man saved me from drowning, but no, he raped me. He saved me from drowning. If it wasn't for him, I would have died. But no, he raped me. All right, guys, give me famous, give me attention.
And then Marcus Dibble went off at her.
Yeah.
3.
Oh, she's very racist as well. The fucking Vegemite and Australians. That's another day though. That's another day.
Oh yeah, back onto the catcalling thing, right? It, like, what she said was like, he was catcalling me. I told him to piss off, go away. Like, if it's like a human, like, it's something humans do. They look at someone crying and they feel bad. It's empathy. They walk over to them, see if they're okay. Ask if they need any help. Like, if you were to see a woman or a man walking down the street, sobbing their eyes out, would you walk up to them and see if they're okay? A complete
Yes,
stranger.
You'd wonder if you could help or if there's anything, or you're trying to find out what was wrong.
Like,
Because
they could have
don't
just,
worry.
like, something could have just happened. Like, she, if we were to think of a theoretical scenario, like, she could have just been sexually assaulted, raped by someone, right? If you were to walk up and be like, "Hey, are you okay?" Like, maybe she would have been okay with, if you were a woman, she'd be like, "Look, this has just happened." But if you were a man, you wouldn't be able to go anywhere near her because she'd hate you. But you'd still go up to her and be like, "Hey, are you okay?" And if she tells you to go away, you'd have to respect her decision to tell you to go away. But if she says,
Yeah,
"No, look, this
true.
is this is that," you'd be like, "Okay, sit here. I'll call the police. We'll get some stuff sorted." You know, you would help her. But if she tells you to go away because she's crying, she thinks you're catcalling her because you're going up and you're empathetic. What does that say about empathy and going and just actually caring about something?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Right.
Lewis, with what you said before, with the examples like, "Oh, damn, what's up, girl? You wanna come back to my place? We can talk about it." Like, that can be taken the wrong way by, like, the person that's being upset. But
No,
like
but I mean,
you said,
like-
like you said before, everyone in their brains, they feel some sort of like sorrow for someone else. Like, if they're crying, it's like, "Oh shit, I've been there before." It's like, "Oh, I should maybe help them out." Be like, "Oh, are you sure that it's okay? Like, you sure that you're okay? What's up? I'm here to help. If you need to talk, I'm here to talk." But sometimes it can be misinterpreted as in, like you said before, like hitting on them or fucking, I don't know.
I mean, so
Yeah,
many
no.
things nowadays. If a man was to talk to a woman, even in a high school and a primary school environment, if you were to talk to a girl or a young woman and just, like, you know, start to have a friendly conversation with them, people surrounding you, or even her herself, will take it as flirting. Like, so
Yeah.
many people have done that and they've taken it as flirting, and then rumors have gone around. And then what happens to your social life then? You're known as everyone's like, "Ooh, you like her,"
what's up,
you know,
Seth?
that sort of thing.
Yeah, like nowadays it's like people can't talk to girls without them people assuming, oh, they're dating. It's like, can't you just be friends with the other gender?
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of hard to have like a relationship with a female, like a friendship.
Yeah,
In
'cause
high
everyone
school.
just goes, oh, you guys are dating.
It's like, ooh, you're getting you with that person. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I'm gonna shit. Woo.
Yeah, it's really messed up. But in the younger years of primary school, it's like kids are just really, really like childish.
Yeah,
No one
well,
gives
of
a
course
fuck.
they're childish, but like, I mean, what seems to happen is they just don't understand. That's probably the main. They don't understand like sexism, feminism. You know that thing? They just go, "Ooh, girls have
Understand that,
cooties,"
like-
and it's just gone down.
Yeah.
It generations.
Bro, kids don't understand when they look at a hot girl. They suddenly get like hardwood between their legs. Like, boy,
Okay,
Dude, we're not
Seth,
talking about like
there's
7,
a
8-year-olds,
difference.
alright?
There's a difference in between looking at someone and getting a fucking getting
Erection,
hard
dude. Like,
aw.
and looking at someone and I don't even know where I'm going with this. Holy fuck.
Don't start this again. We've already argued about this for like 3 days straight. Do not start this argument again.
like here's the thing, right? Most like I know from experience, like from being around little kids, because my brother's like what 4 years younger than me, right?
Lewis,
Me-
that sounded so bad when you first started saying that.
Let me
Don't ever start a
let me
sentence like that
finish.
again.
Let me finish, okay?
Please don't.
My brother is 4 years ish younger than me, right? So I've been around like his friends because they've come over. We've been in the same school, right? Like if they were to go up to, they try and stay as far away from girls as they can, because like most boys at that age like completely hate girls. They're like, ugh, it's a girl. What are you doing with a girl? Like it's set. Yeah, I know. Like it's set from a young age to that. Girls
Lewis.
like don't do that.
If you were at my primary school, every boy was trying to get in with every girl.
Yeah, true. Same as mine.
Jesus Christ, you guys were at weird primary schools. I'm used to being, from reception up to year 4, everyone's like, ugh, girls.
Right,
And then from year
I
4
had
forwards, it hits
pedophiles in
puberty.
my primary school, boy. I'm friends with one of them.
Yeah, we had James in our primary school.
Exactly.
Okay,
That
no,
man-
okay, no.
I can't tell you how many times
Okay,
I've been touched in
Lewis.
places I didn't want to be.
Oh yeah, no, I
Lewis,
can
you
back
have to cut
story
that
up.
out, Lewis. Lewis, you have to cut that out.
No, man.
Why?
Because you can't fucking talk about Jimmy being a fucking pedo on the podcast.
Why not?
It's a joke.
Because
Exactly.
Yeah, we were just
Yeah, why not?
If you say
Yeah,
it's a joke, if you like,
Just
Sure.
confirming, he's not. He's never done anything to anyone. Okay?
He grabbed
never-
Brandon's
He's a
dick
virgin.
the first day he met him.
what?
That's
This
not-
seems to sound just like Jake.
He-
Okay.
Jimmy is joking around when he does that stuff. He never means any of it seriously. I highly doubt he would ever do that to anyone that he didn't know.
Like that he didn't
doubt
know
he would-
completely to the T that has been best friends. Like,
Yeah, like I highly doubt he would go up to like a random person or even a fucking girl and just like randomly start touching them. He's not an actual pedophile. We just call him that because that's what we do in our friend group. We fucking
We
talk
just like
shit
to
about
joke
each
around
other
about that.
all the time.
Even he knows, like, we joke about like that.
Yeah.
Him calling us.
well, that's
We
male
just wanna
humor
say
for you
that.
boys. That's male humor.
Yeah, we have
you
some
know?
of the darkest humor on the interwebs. So yeah.
Like, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Dark humor is taken the wrong way by so many people. Like, it's
People take it seriously. and
you
it's
take a
bullshit.
serious topic, and you try and make it okay to deal with by making it funny. It's how it's how some people actually deal with it. So like, dealing with some people who have lost like family members and stuff in 9/11 will make a meme about it, and therefore they'll find some condolence in that, knowing that it can be taken as something like that isn't completely bad. Like, I mean, it is completely bad, but
It has nothing to do with like what we were talking about.
yeah.
But like, what you were kind of saying before, Lewis, like making memes about 9/11 and all that. Like Alana today, right? And
This is Alana is his girlfriend. For anyone that doesn't know.
like a open house thing, right? And like one of the like tours we went to was like a cemetery, right? And you hear like a lot of people joking about like death and all that, yeah. And then you like actually like read like left behind by like family members, and like it gets to you like really badly.
Yeah, I remember I made a joke about there was some. I gotta say I probably have the darkest humor. there was people crowding around at there's a fucking cemetery near us, and I was
You're
like,
cutting
oh,
out a lot.
someone just got buried, and this person who hates me like, oh, what you say that for? You're so mean, and I'm just like, chill, it's a joke.
Yeah, like that doesn't go well down with anyone now. Like, I swear, since
You can't have a sense of humor.
yeah, like so many people take jokes as people being serious or just being
Oh well, then I
not
better
normal.
leave this call then.
Nah,
Disconnects.
Seth, you're right.
Bullshit, man. I take every joke fucking seriously.
That's just what you are.
That's just something that
It's like
happens with people. That's like there is some,
you
but there's
take
some
personal
people
jokes
mentally that
seriously.
take it.
You don't take jokes in general seriously.
But there are some people, like, you know, like Sheldon in Big Bang Theory, who actually have, like, you know, something wrong where they don't get
Autism.
sarcasm or jokes or, like, somewhere on the spectrum, you know, they don't actually get jokes, and so they think everything that happens is serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just pretty much described me too.
Oh, well, wait, on the
Oh,
on the
what?
spectrum, or
Wait, Seth, you autistic? Did you just expose yourself?
yeah? Did you just say you just autistic?
I mean, I take every. No, I take every like joke seriously.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah. I think we're getting a bit too long here. We're
Yeah,
going
I
like
feel.
almost half an hour over.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess Bailey isn't here right now, so I take it.
I'll finish up.
All right, you
Alright.
finish up.
It's been nice talking. You know, we got some things out to like the world, the public, or we got our opinions out. We got some things cleared up. We went way off topic and just started like exposing our lives. But it's been good. We'll catch you later. See you later, guys.
All right, bye,
Peace.
guys.